Hey everyone, Fugu here from Creator DAO, and today I'm here with Phillips, the CMO of Gunfire, a free-to-play 2D platform shooting game in the Web3 environment. Welcome, Phillips.
Okay, hello guys. Thanks for having me in our AMA today. Thank you, Fugu, for a very great introduction. Yeah, I'm really glad to be joining you guys today in our AMA.
Excited to chat. Can you just tell us about who you are and what exactly you do at Gunfire?
Okay, so my name is Phillips. I am currently the CMO of Gunfire. What I do is mostly on the user acquisition side of Gunfire. So my main responsibility at Gunfire, firstly, to be the person who is in charge of user acquisition strategy of Gunfire. It means that I need to grow the user base of Gunfire. That is the first. And secondly, I am also in charge of the team managing the community so that we can provide the operational service for the players when they join our game. And lastly, I am the representative of the Gunfire team. When we have AMAs or when we have to join events, I will be the person who is joining those kind of activities externally. Yep.
How many people are on the Gunfire team total?
So until now, we're having 25 people in total, including the developers, the marketing officers, and the CM who manage the community as well. So in total, we're having 25 people.
Whoa, that's a pretty big team.
Yep. So we plan, because Gunfire has there are many things to do around Gunfire. We have to operate the server. We have to operate the game, balance the endless tournament, the play to earn stuff. So it needs like a team, a very focused team, actually.
Are you guys public in your identities or are you anonymous?
So only our marketing team who have public activities, publish who we are. We actually just publish our Twitter, our Discord. We don't really public ourselves into the public audience. But when we talk to our partners and our investors, we do publish our identity to them.
Can you share us the story? How did you guys join together and come up with the idea behind Gunfire?
Okay, so previously when we tried to build Gunfire, we tried to build a Web2 game at first. Until the late of 2021, we started the GameFi industry, the GameFi sector starting to go booming. And then we thought that, okay, maybe we need to do some adjustment and then we need to pivot a little bit so that we can take advantage of this Web3 game space, Web3 game wave that is coming to the market, the gaming market. So we want to take this opportunity. So we go to the Web3 environment. So in January, we're starting to code the game and trying to pivot it from a Web2 environment to become a Web3 environment with all these kind of on-chain interaction, game gateway interaction, and all the NFTs integration stuff. So we're starting to work with all around that starting from January. And then in April, we think that, okay, it is the time to introduce our project to the Avalanche community. So we launched the Twitter, the social media on the Avalanche. And then we also build the community around the Avalanche people. We work together with some of the NFTs and some of the crypto Web3 community on Avalanche network. And then from June, we launch our mainnet version of the game. And then until now, we have achieved some of the milestones. And then we decided that, okay, it's time to reach out more to other blockchain network, and Polygon network is our next destination. We have launched our official version, the mainnet version, on the Polygon network. And our team before, we work for many game studios. So game marketing for gaming products and then e-commerce products are the strength of our team before we came together. So previously we were working for several game studios in our country, and then we came together, and then we think that, okay, firstly we developed the game for the Web2 environment, but then the Web3 gaming wave came. So we decided that, okay, it's time to go Web3. So we take advantage of all the experience that we have in this crypto space, and then we developed the Web3 version. Yep.
How did you decide to launch initially on Avalanche?
Okay, so I think that even from last year, one of the main blockchain network that has launched many games, that is the Binance chain. So it's getting very competitive at the Binance chain, and also very competitive on Polygon as well, because there are many games that having good quality, and then we may not have all the resources to win on those markets. So we decided that, okay, it's time to go to a blockchain network that needs more game since April. So Avalanche at that time is the good blockchain network for us to launch on. So it is less competitive there, and then the community is also very supportive for the project that started on Avalanche. So we think that it's time to go to Avalanche. When we win Avalanche, we can go to other blockchain network after that.
Okay, I see. So you have the game launched on Avalanche already. What's the status of Gunfire on Polygon?
We have released the mainnet version, and we are now having 2,500 players who are playing the game.
Okay, but are they separate games, or is it one game with multi-chain capabilities?
Okay, so they are separate games. So our opinion about games on different blockchain network is, so we consider one blockchain equal one server. So if you compare our game to a traditional game, you have different servers, right? So one version on a blockchain, on one blockchain, is one server, and another version is a new server. So it doesn't have the capabilities to bridge the NFTs from one chain to another. But if you go from one chain and you want to start an account on another server, you will need to start fresh, so that there will be more competition between players on different blockchain network. We don't want one players to own every server. So we think that it is better to start new.
Can you tell us about the situation with the game on Avalanche right now? Has it been successful? How many people are playing it right now?
Okay, so for the game on Avalanche, so after 1 month of launching in July, we achieved the #1 game on the app radar, and then that achievement lasts for also 1 month. So in August, the other project has been working really hard. So they get our top 1, we became top 3, and until I think it's top 5. But I think that the achievement is good compared to our resources at that period of time back in July. But the game is still running smoothly right now on Avalanche. We still, the players are still playing the game. We are having around 5,000 players actively playing every day. So it's like the daily active players is 5,000. And then we are still running the play to earn tournament every 5 days. The reward is still being given to the players in AVAX. They are still contributing. They are still paying to buy the NFTs. They are still paying to participate in the endless tournament of our game. So the status of the game on Avalanche Network is still very good. That's why we decided that, okay, it's time to expand to another blockchain network, is the Polygon network.
Well, I'm happy that you guys have found some traction. You mentioned briefly that something about your resources, and it reminded me, I wanted to ask you, what's, first of all, the relationship between Oxalus and Gunfire?
Okay, so Oxalus is actually a partner that has been providing us with the infrastructure. So previously, in June and in July, they have not built a platform that having an UI. They have not published their platform yet. So our on-chain interaction was actually on gunfireavax.io. And then when we decided that, okay, it's time to launch on the Polygon network as well, we partner with them. So they provide all the infrastructure we needed to do all the on-chain interaction, so that we only need to focus on the game development and operating the game. So the dev from also they take care of the on-chain interaction and then the NFTs relating stuff. Yep.
Okay. What about funding for Gunfire? Where does that come from? Do you have VC backers? Do you have grants? Do you have partnerships? What maybe with the AVAX Foundation or with? I mean, I know for sure you have a grant from Polygon, so congratulations, or Polygon DAO. So congratulations on that. But can you speak on anything else?
Yeah. So when we started out the project, we have no funding from external sources. We don't raise fund at that point. We did not raise fund at that point because we do believe that it was a bear market even from May until now. So we don't raise any fund because we think that it will be very difficult to raise fund at that period of time. We talked to a few numbers of investors. They were not they will hesitate to invest in any project. So at that time, we used our own funding. The fund was from the other businesses that we run in the traditional market. We use a very limited resource of funding, but we were able to partner with many projects and many communities on the Avalanche network, which help us to acquire the users. And when we successfully acquire many users in the first place, they actually pay for the project. They pay for the product. They pay for the NFTs. They pay to buy the tickets to enter the play to earn tournament. And by doing so, because they do that, we have our revenue that came into the project that help us to stay sustainable until now, without any funding from VCs, from backers. No, we don't have the backers at the moment. Although we are raising for funding from private investors and working with Avalanche Launchpad, so we can do our public sale in the Q4 of this year.
Very cool. So you guys are originally a grassroots project. You just came up with an idea, you made it happen yourselves, and you found some traction. And now you're actually making moves, you're getting funding and stuff like that from outside sources. And also you've built a community, which is great.
Yeah, we never thought that it would be this successful, although it is only the first step for Gunfire, because we only have like a small traction, but we can already, you know, staying sustainable with that traction. So it was out of our imagination in this bear market. So yeah, thanks to a good product, because when we first launched, we never thought about offering the token initially on the market, because we will have we won't have enough money to provide the liquidity for the token, and then we will not have enough money to do all the market making and everything. So we just say that, okay, Avalanche, the AVAX token, is the good means of transaction. So we use the Avalanche as our means of transaction, and then by doing so, we don't have to provide any liquidity, or we don't have to really care about the financial stuff of the token itself. So we only need to focus on building a good product, getting the users for it by doing good partnerships. Yeah, and that's how we acquire our users and stay until now.
Well, they say that the success is determined in the bear market, because, you know, in the bull market, there's so much froth and there's so much money going around that you don't know if you're successful because of your actual merits or just the market itself. So if you guys can prove yourself in this bear market and last until the next bull market comes, then I think you guys will make it for sure.
Yeah, there will be a long way to go, because we don't know how long will the bear market last. So we only know that we need to do our best, and we need to constantly improving the project. We need to develop new features, bring the game to another level that set itself apart from other NFTs game, as well as, you know, getting the features that only available for traditional games to be available on the Web3 game. That is very crucial on onboarding more and more users to the project. I do believe that for every project, they need to acquire as many users as possible. So when they acquire users and then when they can live by themselves, only by that time can they show investors a way out for the project, because any investors, they invest in a project, they want to see a way out. So only when that project is profitable and when it can attract as many users as possible, can it show the good picture for the investors. And when they can get good investors, to get good funding, they can scale, and then they can, develop into something else that we may not see in the Web3 space before. So for Gunfire, is only the starting point until now, up to now, and there's still lots of work to do, in the upcoming months and even years, because we don't know how long the bear market will last. But one thing for sure is Gunfire will always, concentrate on our product, concentrate on building a strong community, and focusing on growing a strong user base, so it can be a foundation for us to last in this bear market.
Well, what is Gunfire?
So Gunfire is a 2D platform shooting game. So if you ever play the game on traditional device, like you play Contra on the console, like back in the 90s, or you play the Metal Slug on Steam, the gameplay is pretty similar. You have a character, you have a weapon, you shoot the monsters after, and then when you eliminate all the monsters, you can cross the world maps and you cross different scenes. So this genre is called the 2D platform shooting. Yep, if you search for that word online, you will see many games in this genre. And then the game is firstly free to play. When you enter the game, you have a default character and you have a default weapon, so you can go and unlock the PvE mode. You unlock the game content freely, so you have time for entertainment. And then if you want to play to earn, we have this 5 days tournament. Every 5 days we hold a tournament, and then the players, they need to purchase the tickets to enter that tournament, and all the ticket revenue and all the NFTs revenue, we put that into a pool, and then we use that pool to reward the players who wins in every 5 days tournament. So that is how Gunfire works, and that is the concept of NFT game that we want to introduce in Gunfire.
Are you a fan of Contra and 90s console games like that?
Yeah, for myself, back when I was like 10 years old, 12 years old, I played Contra a lot, because back at that point in our country, the very strong PC with high-end setup was not really available. So games on that old, very traditional device was like the only thing that we can play. And I play Contra a lot. But Contra is very difficult compared to Gunfire. For Contra, you need many buttons. You need to know many buttons on the console. You need to shoot yourself. You need to jump. You need to adjust so that your shoot is like in line with the monsters. But with Gunfire, the shooting is automatic. What you need to do is you need to jump. You need to move your characters around, and then you will after every play, you will get your weapons, your bullets will be upgraded with a random perks. And using that random perks, it will enhance your gameplay experience even better than Contra. So of course, the graphic is totally better than Contra, but Gunfire is a total different experience compared to Contra. That is all I can say.
Are you fighting at any point against other players, or are you competing against other players in terms of points? What's the relationship between the people that are playing the game?
Okay, so in the game, we have this system we call the floor and the maps. So each map has 20 floor, and then when you pass 20 floor, you pass a map. But in the endless mode, we have this system. Another system is the rooms and the floor. So in each floor, you have 20 rooms. If you pass 20 rooms, you pass one floor. And then in the 5 days tournament, the players will compare themselves in terms of achievement. The higher the floor that they climb on the leaderboard, the higher they will be ranked on that leaderboard. And then the higher they will be rewarded because of their ranking. So that is how the players, they compete against one another to earn the AVAX pool from the game.
Okay, so it's just mostly a competition between the players to see who could be the best, opposed to something like Axie, which you're actually battling the other players one-on-one.
Yeah, so the system is different from the PvP mode of AC Infinity. This is actually a PvE leaderboard. So when you shoot and then when you're trying to climb the floor on the leaderboard, you're still shooting against the monsters that is generated by the AI. But it is different from the PvE. So for the PvE, you have different world maps, and then you unlock the world maps. The monsters is based on the level of your characters and based on how you unlock the world map. But in the Endless Tower, which is the tournament, we mix all of that monsters together. So the monsters are random, and they may even face, you know, big monsters even in the first stage. Or when they climb, they may face like weaker monsters. We don't know, because that is totally random. So the experience is completely different, and it's not really predictable. So it makes Gunfire become interesting, and the players, they want to explore, they want to conquer, and they want to achieve in the game.
For someone who's a long-term player, how do you make sure that the game always stays fresh? Are you constantly making new levels and new maps?
Yep. So right now the game content is we are still in the phase of releasing new game contents. So we actually have only released around 40% of the game contents that we already created. When we release about 80% of them, we will continue to develop new arts, and then that can adapt to the market. Right now, I am having this idea of creating a skin system or a character system that is available only for the World Cup that is coming in the Q4 of this year. So Gunfire want to stay in the trend. So we want to adapt our content to different market. So for example, the World Cup is the next big event that we need to hold, right? But what is going to be after that? If we want to approach the Chinese market, we may think of some kind of skin or some kind of concept of the character that is very, very relating to the Lunar New Year. So our way to stay fresh is we stay up with the trend. So if the Web2 world has any big trend, we want to follow, and by doing so, the content of Gunfire will always stay fresh.
I see. That's very cool. In terms of the people that are currently playing the game, though, who do you know about the background or the demographics of who's playing right now? And then aside from that, who you plan to target later on?
Okay, so Gunfire attracts players from Southeast Asia and mostly Asian country. So our top 5 markets are firstly India. So we have many players from India. Then we have Indonesia. Those are the 2 most biggest market. And then we have Philippines, and then we have Brazil. So this gun shooting game in Brazil is very popular. I believe that the Brazilian players, they love this gun shooting game. And then lastly, we have Vietnam, because Vietnam is our original country. So we develop some of the audience in Vietnam.
That's interesting, because I know a lot of people are aware during Axie Infinity's peak that the Philippines was really the center of that whole thing, and it was so popular, and there were documentaries made and stuff. But from what you say, it seems like perhaps other countries have caught on to the blockchain gaming phenomenon, and people, for example, in India and Indonesia, which are countries with larger populations, have surpassed them. Is that what you found? Like these markets are growing?
Yeah, so I believe that so Philippines is a good market for any Web3 game. When any Web3 project, any Web3 game, when they started out, they will come to Philippines because the market is very well educated. There are many means of exchange between the fiat currency and then the cryptocurrency that is good, and it's very crypto ready over there. That is the first. But along the way, because many projects they come to Philippines, it makes the market become very, very competitive. That's why in the first place, we did not target that the Philippines market. But instead of that, we look for markets that is growing with Web3 adoption in India and then in Indonesia. Those are the market with, we do believe that those are the markets with good spending, with a very high spending power. And then we trying to win those niche market. And then we come back to Philippines, we automatically have a brand and have a user base already. So the players just come in without us having to compete too much with other projects.
So maybe we can describe the Philippines as the most sophisticated blockchain gaming market at the moment. How do you guys plan to stand out among all the other projects?
Okay, so I think that it's not really in our plan to only conquer the Philippines market. The Philippine market is, of course, the very sophisticated market, very crowded, but also very competitive. I think that it is not in our plan to only conquer the Philippines market. The better way would be going to penetrate the US market, and then the Europe market, and also the South America market. Because in the US and then the Brazil, we noticed that there is a behavior that the players, they tend to like the game with gun shooting stuff. Many games that in gun shooting, they win the North America and then the South America market. So that is where we want to Gunfire to go, rather than only focusing on the Philippines market. Because as blockchain and then crypto emerge, many markets are showing great adoption, not only Philippines.
How is blockchain actually integrated into the game?
Okay, so there are many factors that that blockchain can do in the game. So firstly, I think that for any game that want to have the blockchain integration system, you will need to look at the bigger picture. So how will blockchain play? So if blockchain can play a vital part in the game, it will be a very good technology. But if you look at the traditional market, the gaming industry, the industry doesn't require any blockchain adoption to be a already very big market. So our approach is different, is a little bit different from other GameFi project. So when GameFi project, they apply the blockchain factor to become this kind of token system and also NFT system. But we think that, okay, blockchain will be a means of transaction and blockchain will be a means to reward players. So as you can see, if you have a game on the App Store or on any platform, if you want to reward players using credit card or using any kind of transfer, it will be very difficult because I believe that there are many policies, overseas policy, that never allow that. But for us, firstly, we have the NFTs, that is the first blockchain adoption in the game. And then we also have this, and then the reward system. So the players buy everything in the AVAX token, they buy the NFTs, they deposit it into the game. And when they get rewarded, the blockchain helps them to be rewarded overseas. So that is the advantage of the game compared to traditional game. The players, you can participate in the game anywhere in the world, and then you still get rewarded because our reward is in the AVAX token and in the Matic token. So we use the token to reward players, and that already limit the gap between traditional game and play to earn game.
I see. Okay, so whatever blockchain you're on, you're going to be using primarily that native gas token as the token that's going to be rewarded to players.
Yep.
So I also wanted to ask, what blockchains do you plan to expand on aside from just Polygon and AVAX? Do you have a plan to maybe be on 10 different blockchains? Because you were mentioning that they're all planning to be looked at as kind of like a server. So what's the multi-chain plan?
Okay, so our approach in terms of multi-chain is going to be a little different from the multi-chain product that you may see. So we are trying to avoid markets with that are really competitive. But rather than that, we are focusing on the blockchain that is having that is growing and need project to come there and then to develop and gain users. So because when we go to niche blockchain like that, we get the support from the team, from the blockchain itself, and then it's easier to win. And then we can win many block. And if we win like all the blockchain that can be considered niche blockchain, we already having a great user base that can help the product, you know, grow and survive. Yeah. So our plan is to win like in the future, maybe Near Protocol, Immutable X, Solana. Yeah. But for Binance Smart Chain, yeah, it is a very competitive one.
Will they all be totally separate, or will some things be able to be bridged between the different blockchains?
Yeah, so the token, the native token of the project in the future, when we introduce it, it will be the one that can be bridged, but the NFTs cannot be bridged. Yep. So it will be like 80% separate and only 20% that can be bridged.
What about something like a ranking? Can that be bridged between the different games?
No, so we don't want to bridge the ranking because for example, if you have many servers, you only want a few players to win, to be on top on one server, because if you allow one players to be the top like on all the servers, it will not be good for the game because other players can compete. So we want everything to be separated from all the blockchain.
And will each of these different blockchain versions of Gunfire be identical, or do you plan on having unique things for each one?
Okay, so the launching strategy of the blockchain will be different. So for example, on Gunfire AVAX, we sell the NFTs in the first place, and then we already offer the NFTs on the day we launch our mainnet. But on Polygon, we don't offer the NFTs chest initially when we launch our game. We let every players only earn one weapon, one default one weapon, and then one NFT weapon. Every players use the same weapon. So because we want the competition to be fair between the players, if they want to increase their power, it must be increased by playing and then earning the gold from the game and use that to upgrade the level of the weapon, rather than just paying a huge amount of money and then having a great power and then overpower other players. We don't want that to happen. We want the competition to be very tight between players, and they actually have to win by skills. So we don't sell NFTs aggressively in the beginning stage of Gunfire Polygon. Essentially, like 70% or 60% of the game play, and then the NFT system will be the same, but the approach, the launching strategy could be different from different blockchain.
And what's the revenue model for the project? How do you guys make money?
Yeah, so we have our revenue from the players already. So for the revenue model, we having these three sources of revenue. So firstly, we sell the NFTs chest, like many other games that you can see, because it's a very, you know, popular model. So we have that model. And then secondly, we let the players to mint the NFTs by playing the game. So when you play the game, you can mint a random box. So when they mint this random box, this mysterious box, there will be an NFT in that box, but you only need to claim that box with a very low fee. So you get the NFTs not from the chest, but from the box with a very attractive price. For example, if you want to buy a chest, it costs you $10. But if you claim NFTs from a box, it's only for $3. But the box will not always drop in the game. So you actually need to play frequently to get the box, that mysterious box. And lastly, we have this revenue from the players when they buy the tickets to enter the endless tournament. So those three sources of revenue, we gather them together into a treasury fund, and then we extract a part of that treasury fund to reward the players that ranked in the top of every tournament. And then we use the rest as our operation cost as well as our marketing costs. Yeah, so that is the revenue model of the project.
Let's talk about the NFTs. What exactly are you getting as NFTs?
So the NFTs are the weapons, are the armors, are the gears that help your characters to improve in strength. So the more powerful your character is, the more they can cross the maps and they can climb higher floor in the play to earn season. That is the concept of, that is the value of NFTs on the Gunfire Avalanche. But on Gunfire, in Gunfire Polygon, the NFTs also help you to increase the power, but because we still have not released all the rarity of the NFTs, we only allow players to play in one rarity in the first place. So all the powers are merely the same, and the players compete against one another based on skill.
What about heroes? Are they an NFT?
The hero. So in the first place, you are given a default heroes. It is not an NFT, the default hero. But when you want to unlock other hero, they are the NFTs.
But if you want to buy or sell any of these NFTs, do you have your own marketplace, or it's done on something like OpenSea?
Yeah, we have our own marketplace to sell our NFTs. I have to admit that we spend a lot of time growing the users and improving our product and take care of the community. Sometimes we didn't even list our NFTs on other marketplace, but that is something that we still have to work on in the future, like listing our NFTs on other marketplace, so it's become more accessible for the players. Yeah, but right now we only operate on our own marketplace that is operating with Oculus platform.
Do you know thus far what the most expensive NFT ever sold on the marketplace has been so far?
I think it's around 2 to 2.5 AVAX. Our NFT's price is relatively low because the players need like 4 NFTs together so they can get the full power of their character. So we're keeping the price of one single NFTs to be relatively low, so that the barrier to enter of the players is not really high. Yeah.
What was that item? What is the most valuable item that you can get as an NFT?
So it's a legend. It's on Gunfire. It's on Gunfire AVAX, and it was a legendary item that was sold at the highest price. Yeah.
Do you have different rarities of items, and also, is there like a cap, or is there unlimited amount of some items? What's the situation in terms of rarity and also quantity?
So in terms of initially we only launched the NFTs in the format of chest, and then the higher the rarity, the lower the initial supply will be. But in the game, we have this fuse mechanism that allow players to fuse different NFTs with the same rarity to become an NFT with higher rarity. So that is how the NFT can be upgraded. And then we have a few rarity can be named. Firstly, the common, the uncommon, the rare, the epic, and then the legendary. So 5 initial NFTs rarity that can be seen on Gunfire AVAX.
Okay, so right now I can go into your online store marketplace and I can purchase some of these NFTs and I can play with them, correct?
Yeah, you can actually purchase anything on the marketplace and play with them.
What's the motivation though to use your native marketplace versus like something like Looks Rare or OpenSea?
So right now, I believe that for our trading system, the benefits for users that using our own trading system is that they only need to go to it is very centralized on one place. They don't have to remember, or they don't have to look for different thing when they want to sell their NFTs. that is the first benefit. But the disadvantage here is that the branding to the players from the NFTs marketplace are a little limited, and that is what we have to work on in the future as well.
Okay, I wanted to ask about your referral system. What
Yep.
is the current system in place? How does it work? And how do you prevent people from trying to game the system or cheat?
Okay, so we have this referral system. So when the players they introduce other players, they get some benefits from introducing friends. So they will have the motivation to introduce friends and make the project more successful. That is why the referral system was created. And also that referral system helped us a lot in reducing the marketing fee to acquire new users back in July and in August. One important thing about this referral system is that we need to ensure that the players who introduce to the project actually need to play the game. They need to interact with the game at some stage to be called a successful referral. So we have that rule implement on the game, and then actually I can share with you that someone tried to cheat our referral system before, but we quickly found out and then we stopped them because we implement a rule. If you're trying to create too many wallets and then just from one person and then trying to create many wallets and then play the game, we will be able to find out by our security and then technology system. But I can share with you that we have some case that trying to cheat in the number of users before, but we were able to stop them. So we are confident in terms of trying to limit people from cheating in this referral system.
How do you ensure that people don't try and game the system or cheat? Do you have like some sort of security team or external people that are monitoring it for you?
So our game operation, executive, they monitor the data, and if they see any like abrupt increase or decrease or any sudden change in the data, they will notice, and then our dev will be able to stop that. Our security team is not separate from the dev team, but we have this rule to allow players to create too many accounts at once. So that is the very simple rules to stop the players from cheating all at the same time. Of course, we cannot say that, okay, you will not cheat, or we cannot disallow them from cheat, because we don't know for sure when they will cheat. But when they cheat, we can ban them from the system, and then we have the rule to prevent them to cheat in the first place. Yeah.
On the topic of security, are you guys audited?
So our contract is audited by VeriChain, the same company that audited AC Infinity's contract. Yeah.
Okay, and they did an audit on both the Avalanche iteration and the Polygon one?
Yeah, they did for both.
So the game is available on both Android and iOS, is that correct?
Yeah, that is for Avalanche. For Polygon, it's only available for Android devices, and we are working on the iOS version.
Do you have some sort of backup plan if the App Store suddenly says, we don't want blockchain games, we're going to ban them all?
Right now, we are operating in the test, it's the same system as the test flight system. Is IPA for iOS launching, but we are not on the App Store or Google Store yet. So of course, we know that their policy is not really allowing blockchain apps, but we are not on the App Store, so we are still confident as long as we can still operate on their OS. Yeah.
Okay, so right now, most people that are playing the game, are they playing on PC? What's the format?
Yeah, most of our users coming from Android devices, because they are in Asian country, and countries like Indonesia or Philippines or India, I think that the Android devices are popular. Like 70% of our players are using Android devices, And the game is also but if you are available on Android, you will be also available on PC Android emulator. So 70% of the players are using the Android devices, and then the rest 30% are using iOS devices.
So let's say I want to play Gunfire. I have my phone in my hand. I've never downloaded it. I don't know anything about it. What do I do and how do I start playing?
Okay, so if you want to play Gunfire AVAX, you go to gunfireavax.io. And if you want to play Gunfire Polygon, you go to gunfirepolygon.io. And then there will be a download button over there. You download it. If you are on Android, you will download an APK. And you will, you just need to click that APK and install it. And it will be just like install a file on any devices. And if you are on iOS, you go to gunfireavax.io. And then you download it onto your phone. You trust the app in general setting, in VPN and device management. And then when you trust the app, you can open it on iOS device without the system warning you about the app.
Do I need to have a crypto wallet already, or is that provided in the game?
You will need a crypto wallet to register an account, because we want the players to be very convenient when they come to interaction with our on-chain system and the reward as well. So it is required to have a blockchain wallet before they register an account, because it's a Web3 game, right? So at least you need a Web3 wallet.
Does my MetaMask connect to the actual game, or I just provide an address?
So when you go to our infrastructure platform, the ocelots.io, and then you create an Ocelot ID account on that platform, you will also register a username and a password, and you use that username and password to log into Gunfire on your mobile device without having to connect any blockchain on your mobile device.
You were talking earlier about the token, or a token that will be coming sometime in the future. What's it called?
The token could be named GUNX, yeah.
And what's the token going to do?
Okay, so in the game right now, we are still working with our advisor to improve the tokenomics and creating more token use case. So in the future, the token will, right now we are having some ideas. Firstly, the token will be the one that you can use to upgrade some of the weapons and some of the characters in the game. So when you use the token to upgrade those, the demand for the token will increase. And then we also apply the same reward pool mechanism of the token to reward the players. So when they consume the token in the game, we put together a pool of native token, and then we extract an amount of token in that pool to reward the players, and then the rest of them we will burn the rest of the token, so that it will always keep the price, and it will get the price of the token stable. Yep. The reason why we do this is because we have the revenue in the native blockchain token, the AVAX and the Matic already. So it is not necessary that we take the revenue from the native token. Rather than that, we need to keep the price of the token stable, so that the players, they have the motivation to invest and they have the motivation to purchase.
Will there be some sort of way to get an airdrop of that token? Is there any plans for early contributors, players, things like that?
Yeah, so right now, you are still early contributors because we have not raised fund. We have not offered the public sale of the token yet. So any kind of activities in terms of playing or inviting friends, they are all rewarded with the token. It feels like an airdrop because right now you're getting the token before the IDO, but to get this airdrop, you actually need to play the game. So when you play the game, you can get this token. When you introduce friend, you will get this token. It is way harder than the other usual airdrop. So right now, when you interact with the game, you can get the token, but it cannot be exchanged for fiat money yet because it has no liquidity right now. But when we raise fund from the private investors, we will provide the liquidity and the players can exchange for their value after that.
Let's talk about the community. Is there a Gunfire DAO? And if so, what's its purpose?
We have not got the Gunfire DAO. We only have the Discord community for Gunfire Avalanche and Gunfire Polygon. Yeah, we provide the support for the players, for the gameplay and everything on the community, and we organize events there as well. So we have not got a DAO yet. Everything is still community based.
Do you have a name for your community members?
So we call on AVAX, we call our gunners meow gunners. We compare them to, like, you know, cats. And then when they first started the game, we call them meow gunners because, like, they are the cats. But when they reach a higher level, all the other top players, they are the tiger gunner. So they became like more powerful. And then yeah, and then on the Polygon network, we call them purple gunner because purple is the color of Polygon network, right? So we want, like, to, you know, to kickstart their imagination when they are Gunfire players.
But then what's the next level going to be called? If it goes cat, then tiger on Avalanche, what's it going to be on Polygon? Purple, and then what's next?
Maybe we will use another shade of or another, you know, more fantastic fancy name of purple. Maybe it's going to be violet, you know?
All right. Super purple.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. So you got these different ranks. Do the different ranks in the Discord server, I mean, aside from just being like a role that you have, does it give you access to different secret channels or anything like that?
So before we I do believe that the roles can separate them to be, you know, it just show that how long have they been with the project actually, rather than, you know, accessing a separate channel. Why? Because in the first place, when we launch a Gunfire on AVAX, we try to have different chat channel for different type of roles, but that doesn't work. Players want to have one central place to talk and then to ask for the thing that they want. Apart from the announcement can be made differently. The live stream can be on different place. The event can be on different place. But in terms of just general chat, they want everything to be in the same place. That is the behavior of the players. So we just put everything on the same place.
With such a multinational community, though, do you have different fragments or sections of the community where it's mostly in, for example, Vietnamese or Tagalog and things like that?
Yeah, we do have. So we have communities for English-speaking people. We have communities for Vietnamese. We have communities for Indonesia. We have communities for Portugal, Brazil. Yeah, we have some local community, but not all of them are active. But rather than that, the Indonesia, the India, and then the English market are the most active.
What about the game itself? Do you have multi-language plans to allow different communities who maybe don't speak English to be able to participate?
Yeah, so the multi-language, I believe that is a good idea. We may have that in Q4 because changing language is going to be very simple. That is the feature that we should have had. But right now that you mentioned that, it will be very necessary for us to develop that in Q4.
All right, amazing. Well, talking about the different quarters, what's your roadmap? What do you have in store for the next months to 1 year?
Okay, so right now, one of our very important goals is to have the IDO event, the token generation event. So we should have that in Q4. We are working hard to get there. That is the first goal. And the second goal would be getting Gunfire on many other blockchain. And another thing is that to get Gunfire on other markets as well, providing many languages as possible. Yeah, that is very important. And lastly, one of the things that we always have in our mind, but it will require many technical change, is to develop this mode where the friends can play against along with one another. So for example, right now we have this leaderboard that is created by Gunfire team, but we want to have a system that friends can invite one another and create a leaderboard for themselves. So for example, you and I, we create our own leaderboard. You bet $5, I bet $5, and we see together in one day how many floors we can climb. Who climb higher will win the $10 that we put together into the pool. So that kind of, friends play together experience, that is how things gonna be viral with an NFT game. So that is gonna be where we want to head in the future. Yeah.
I like that idea. It sounds like a poker tournament. Everybody puts in their initial money. They play the game, and whoever wins gets the pool. So it's like players can compete against each other, and they can all bet at the beginning, and the person who wins will get this pool. Which that sounds like that can go viral.
Yeah. The reason why we believe that is a necessary feature to develop is we want the game needs to be viral. When the game is viral, the game can be sustainable.
So if I'm interested now in either playing or participating in the community, I like the idea of Gunfire. I want to get involved. What do you suggest I do?
Okay, so everything goes to the website. So on the website, there is the Twitter. There's a place where you can follow our Twitter. There's a place you can go to our Discord. But firstly, we recommend that you create an account on the website. You download the game, you try it, and then you follow our social media so that you can get more instruction along the way. But one thing that I always instruct players to do is to try the game for 30 seconds. You will see whether you like the game or not. After that, you can participate in our community. But I am sure that like 80% of the players, when they come, they like our game because of the gameplay is very unique and it is very entertaining. It sets the game apart from other NFT game like the click to earn, or you actually don't have to do anything to play the game. So I always instruct players to just download the game and try to play for 30 seconds. Yeah.
All right. So download the game, join the Discord. Do you have a Telegram as well?
No, we don't operate on Telegram because we do believe that Telegram is really hard to follow. So the Discord is better to work on.
Great. Very cool. Well, I'm going to personally go and download the game. I'm going to jump in the Discord and I'm going to follow you guys because I like what I heard and it sounds really cool. So it was a great chat and thanks for coming on.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Fugu, for having me on this AMA. It was a great one. It was a great 1 hour to introduce Gunfire and then, letting everyone to know about how Gunfire is shaping, how Gunfire will be in the future. And, thank you all for listening to our AMA today. Gunfire will hold many big events in the upcoming weeks to celebrate our launch on Polygon. So make sure you follow our Discord and you follow our Twitter, which is Gunfire Official, so that you can stay updated with all the news and everything about Gunfire.